Hey everybody, the Tedster here. I just wanted to talk about Heist in 3.27. I know that Heist is kind of like the end-all be-all thing that everybody kind of talks about, that they don't really like, they don't really enjoy. It is going to be tremendous this league. It is going to give you tremendous amount of currency, tremendous amount of everything. It is the end-all be-all great thing that's going to be available because of the major changes that they made. If you like doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, then you will like Heist. If you want to see straight up currency, clear-cut currency all the time, then you will like Heist. You will automatically get dividends, and what you put into it is what you get out of it all the time. It is tremendous. It's wonderful. I'm on one of my characters now. I've done Heist, for 7-8 leagues now. This is a mine build. It doesn't really matter what you decide to do. You have two ways of kind of building a character and going through that, but let's start at the beginning if you don't know what Heist is. So, the first time you get to go into Heist is starting in Act 6. When you get to Lionized Watch, there's a possibility that when you go down here and you do the quest that's located at the Twilight Strand, that the first place you go, you could get some coins that will let you go to where you want, basically what you want to do, which is Heist. Potentially, once you... Ooh, get some lag. This is right before the release of everything that's going on, so... once you get coins, you leave, and you can either grind there and get the coins, you can keep going through Act 6, but eventually you're going to find special coins to use. They look like this, they're rogue markers. And then you're going to go ahead and talk to the person that's here that will let you do the quest and let you go to do that. More specifically, let's go to the Rogue Harbor. You're going to talk to Kurai. Kurai is going to be in Act 6. You talk to her, then you talk to everybody, and then you go from there. Now, something that's significant, one of the significant changes to this season versus last season's, and I'm going to emphasize how important these changes are. Number one, everyone starts at their maximum level. Why is that important? So these levels don't just determine what you can do in Heist. They determine what your Heist perks are. This means that every single Heister is going to have maximum perks whenever you do their stuff. So Karst is going to start at 40% less raising of alert level from opening rewards chests. Typically, Karst starts at 20. Like Gianna is going to start with the 30% reduced blueprint revealing costs, which means that we don't have to grind Gianna to get the cheaper blueprint revealing costs right away. We can get that right away. Pretty sick. And Vindiri has the 14% chance to duplicate their contents right away, which obviously we can deal with a little bit of stuff to do. But yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's insane, the currency that is going to pour out of doing low-level blueprints and low-level heists right away. When you are in Act 6, you go to Wakano, you purchase contracts. Typically, the contracts will be based off of your level. They'll usually be around 45 to 50. You can buy them, and you'll be able to do all of them. And yeah, the only downside is that they require Orbs of Chance. The plus side is that you should be able to go to Faustus and buy Orbs of Chance. I believe Faustus will allow us to do everything that we need to do as far as buying and selling currency this league. And because they did announce that we are not going to be able to... Well, we're going to have to go back to our hideout to sell items. But that's pretty much it. That's the only thing that we're absolutely positively going to have to do, is go back to town for that. So why is this all important? Why am I ranting and why am I raving about how you should do Heist this league? Well, typically speaking, a contract on average nets 4 to 6 chaos per contract. And generally speaking, every contract takes about 2 to 3 minutes to do. So for 2 to 3 minutes to get 4 to 6 chaos is pretty freaking sweet. In addition, blueprints are just so wide ranged. You can get a blueprint that has 50 to 100 chaos. You can get a blueprint that has a couple divines in it. You can get a blueprint that has some crazy T1 unique in it. There's just so much that's available to you. Now, there's 2 ways that we can go as far as Heist, and I'm going to explain this to you. There are really only 2 ways to go. The first way to go is the way that I go every league. I go with a tanky person that can do a decent amount of damage, can evade monsters, has a good chance to hit with all my auras up, and can do the best I can. This is a very typical power siphon build. Just decent damage, decent everything, right? Your second choice is that instead you can make a Pathfinder, and you can have 200 movement speed and run through everything and do all of that. All of this really requires you to understand how the inventory system works for this. And I'm going to tell you about it right now. So, the inventory system is really incredibly simple. I'm going to look through my heist stuff right here. So I have a few heist pieces right here. It looks like I had them all set up for different things. Yeah, this is all set up. So let me pull some of these out to show you what I mean by this. So heist items, generally speaking, get equipped onto a member that is going into a heist, and they give them special effects and special abilities. Typically, your heist members... It's not working. Oh, lockpicking. Typically, heist members don't fight. They usually do different things during the heist to unlock things and activate things and do things in the heist itself. Generally speaking, all of your items, you want to do different things in a heist. And the reason why it's so important to load up these items on your heist allies is because you take 3 heist allies with you during a blueprint. What does that mean? That means that during that blueprint, during that time, you are getting triple the effects of all of these. So if I have this is a tier 2 reduced raising of alert level at 9%, but if I had 3 of these, that's 27% reduced raising of alert level from opening chests, on top of the implicit 5%, which is 15. So 27, 37, 39, 40, 41, 42. It's 42% reduced raising of alert level. It's gigantic. If I have, chance to not generate alert level when opening a chest using lockpicking, and I use lockpicking on a chest, there's a 9% chance of it not going up at all. And then this is very important as well with brooches. Heist chests gain chance to duplicate basic currency. So if you get a tier 1 in all of your heisters, that means that ultimately you'll have a 45% chance to duplicate all basic currency in your heist. This is how we make our bank. This is how we make our money. Gigantic. So I'm going to show you a few things. I'm going to move some of this over. Let's see if I can get this for you here. Let's get this going. Sorry, I'm usually a little bit more prepared. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we're using PoEDB just to explain this a little bit. So some of these modifiers are awful, right? Like Increased melee damage we would never use. This is on an obsidian sharpening stone, just to give you an example. A sharpening stone would be what would go in this slot right here, on the left slot. Okay? So, what would we likely want? If all of our people aren't doing anything important, the first thing we would want is typically we would want job speed. That's the most important prefix for all of these. And the second one is actually a skill. So you can actually get determination, you can get pride, you can get purity of fire, you can get anger, and they're all different based off of which gear you use. So if you were a build that did really well with purity of fire or pride, if you want extra physical damage, you would put obsidian sharpening stones on most of your heisters. If instead you wanted to go with something cool, for example, let's see here. So precise arrowhead is usually what I go with. And the reason why is because it gives you haste skill. So having more movement speed, super nice, super nice. But again, job speed is also here. So hitting job speed, hitting haste skill, you can get up to level 15 haste for free. You don't have to spend money on it, or gem slots on it, or aura. And then on top of that, burst band is for wrath, for discipline, for zealotry, for malevolence, and purity of lightning. So if you want that extra boost of damage while you're doing an eye level 83 blueprint or anything like that, this is tremendously useful. Tremendously useful. So let's go over brooches, and let's go over we'll go over the next thing. So we'll go over we'll go over the tools next. So let's open up this. Now all the tool modifiers are the same. There's nothing different to this. Okay. So all the prefixes and all the suffixes are the same for this. So normally, for the prefix, you want one of two things. Because I'm assuming that you're using alterations. I'm assuming that you're using augmentations to try to get a good prefix and a good suffix. That's what you're going to primarily do to make these items. The first thing you want to do is you want increased speed. Okay. So either increase lockpicking speed or increase job speed, just general job speed. General job speed is usually preferred. Okay. The second one, the suffix, is really based off of the item itself. So for this lockpicks are used in Heist to open chests. So the chance to not generate alert level when opening chests using lockpicking is really good. It does tremendous work. So not generating alert level on that is super nice. And yeah, that is the best. Now, on the flip side, right? Let's do Thaumaturgical Ward. So this has chance to not generate alert level on opening a chest using counter thaumaturgy. Normally, there are very few chests that you will use counter thaumaturgy on. So you're not going to run into that situation. Or another example, the disguise kit. The disguise kit not generating alert level when using deception. Well, you can't use deception to open a chest, so that is a dead suffix. So you kind of have to watch out for that. In addition, by raising the level of the like doing a +1 level for all jobs or +1 level, that is going to raise their heist perk. So if this is +1 level, this is going to go to 45% less raising of alert level. Less is better than reduced. It's just like an item. So if you had +1/+1 in Master Lockpick, so I had +1 all skills, +1 locking skills, and this was level 7, that would be 50% less raising of alert level, which is gigantic, which is better than what I just described to you, which is the 10%. In addition, Regicide Disguise kits are special because deception level determines the cost for reduced blueprint revealing costs. So you can get this to 40% reduced with level 7, which is gigantic. It's wow. 40% reduced blueprint revealing cost is wonderful, and that's kind of where, you know, we would be at that point. So, all right. Next, we're going to move to cloaks. So there is a bunch of different cloaks that exist. They all have the same modifiers. You want to use the highest level cloak. The item level does matter. Item level 83 is usually where we want to be. Cloaks have a special ability called the lockdown. It's planning choreography. So I don't typically ever recommend you doing this. I don't think it's really worthwhile. But if for whatever reason you're a wild animal and you wanted to go this route, it's an 80 drops. It's a 0.452% chance of making this as your suffix. But ultimately, you could have a 15% chance to not activate lockdown in grand heists. And what that means is that when you click on something at the end of a heist, it allows you to click on something else. It stacks. You can keep opening and opening and opening things if you're lucky enough. Typically, 2 is where it's at. So, what I would recommend instead is using either reduced raising of alert level when opening chests, which is a pretty easy weighing. It's not bad. It's 400, but you'll see it more often than not. Or chance of opening to not generate alert level, so of deactivating, which is 100 weight, which is a lot worse. But generally speaking, if you add them together, it's not too bad. You're going to hit one or the other, and you'll be able to keep on that. And then the same thing here. We really want job speed. We really want, you know, professional or masterful as far as job speed is concerned. I did talk about before doing a Pathfinder build. If you do a Pathfinder build and you do job speed on all 4 of your items, you're able to get 80% job speed. 80% job speed on any of these is like blisteringly fast. You basically won't wait for any door whatsoever. So, all right. And then this is brooches. Again, foliate brooches are where it's at. Foliate brooches give you magic find, but the magic find is only applicable to when you kill enemies. It is not applicable when you open chests. So even though it's still useful, it's not as useful as you would think. The prefix almost doesn't matter. You can get item quantity, which is actually really useful, but it's very difficult to get. It's a 1% to a 2.7%. You're probably not going to get it, and it's an item level 84, so you kind of have to kill an enemy that's better to get it. Or you can get job speed, which is usually what I recommend. Get job speed, don't wait for doors, move on with your life, you know. The most important part of this is the suffix. None of these suffixes matter except for the basic currency suffix. Why does the basic currency suffix matter? Almost everything in the game in Heist is a basic currency that drops. In addition to that, the basic currency of the Horde, 15%, that means that you have a 45% chance to drop duplicated basic currency, which is also Heist, like stacked decks are basic currency, all of that, which makes it it's a little weird. It's a little feel bad moment. Some of these are really not that great, like map fragments, divination cards. Like, why would you want duplicate divination cards when you can just duplicate stack decks? Like, where are we at? Why do we want to duplicate Delirium Orb and Splinters? Why do we want to duplicate Essences when only Tier 4 Essences can drop? Why do we want to duplicate Breach Splinters when technically they're not even in the freaking game right now? Like, you know what I mean? It's really silly. So please just heed my advice on that one. Basic currency. Don't be a silly goose. So, alright. So we went through all the equipment. We went through why it's useful. We went through what you should build as far as your equipment is concerned. We went through going to PoEDB to find that information and do that information. What's next? So, what's next is we're going to go through some of the information with Heist as far as the chest types, so I can tell you what's good, what's bad, and what's ugly. Okay? So these are rewards that are obtained directly by opening chests in Heists and Grand Heists. It's possible in both Heist contracts and Grand Heist blueprints. This is what you're going to want to look for. This is going to be what you don't want to look for. Okay? These have certain values depending on how high level your heists and your contracts are and your blueprints are. Because not for nothing, but if your blueprint is item level 83, you may want to open these differently than if they were, item level 65 or 63 or 60. Okay? Let's go from top to bottom and just make it easy. Okay? Currency boxes you should always open. You should always prioritize. The downside is that there's no such thing as a divination shard, so you're never going to see them. But you will see ancient shards, you'll see harbinger shards, you'll see exalted shards, and you'll see basic currency. It is pretty rare for divinations to drop from the currency box. You'll more likely see chaos orbs drop than anything else, and it's super nice when it's duplicated. Lockpicking, counter taumaturgy, and trap dismemberment is where they typically show up to. Harbinger is pretty bad. It shows up with the Harbinger currency, beachhead maps. That's kind of the jackpot and Harbinger scarabs. Oh, and I apologize. I should really go over that too. There's a chance that these boxes are essentially jackpots. Okay, so when you go into a heist and you open these chests, there's a chance of it dropping pretty normal stuff that's based off of what it's about, and there's a chance for it to drop jackpot items. For the most part, the jackpot items are really good. However, it's few and far between. So it's like 1 out of every 100 chests. So don't expect to always get a jackpot item. You should expect to get the normal stuff. But like, for example, if you open a box of currency, the jackpot item is divination shard. The harbinger box, the jackpot item is a mirror shard. So they don't say it here, but that's what it is. I know from experience. The divination card box doesn't seem to have a jackpot. It just seems to be more or less stacked decks. But keep in mind that usually, especially at the beginning of the league, stacked decks are 2C apiece. So if you get, 6 or 8 stacked decks in this, they've nerfed stacked decks since they used to drop 10 or 12 a piece at a time. But if you get stacked decks from here, I mean, you're looking at, 10 to 12 chaos orbs, which is super nice. Maps. So we don't do maps in Heist. So it's really nice to click on a maps box when it's an eye level 83, because you can get red maps that are worth currency. Generally speaking, we can avoid this box if there's other stuff on the map, but if it's an eye level 83, it's nice because sometimes you'll get unique maps from here, and you'll get a lot of cartographer chisels, which is nice. It's kind of used a lot early on. The map fragments one is kind of not great. Generally speaking, like selling your fragments, not really cost effective. You can get an offering to the goddess, which is kind of nice. The jackpot is the special offering of the goddess on this. The jackpot on the maps one, by the way, is special unique maps. The gems jackpot is it's a tier 1 gem that drops, essentially. You know what I'm talking about. The ones that give, like, it's a support, gives +1 to all gems and stuff like that. Because Trarthan gems come from these gem boxes, you should open them, but honestly, I open them anyway. Every gem that comes from a gem box comes qualitied, and if you don't understand how the GCP recipe works, if you sell 40% quality gems, you get a GCP. GCPs are extremely valuable throughout the entire league. It's very hard to get them, so we generally produce them ad nauseum. The unique box has been bugged since a couple leagues ago, and they never fixed it. Sometimes uniques won't even drop out of it. I suggest avoiding it at all costs. Don't be silly. The jewelry box is arguably one of the best boxes. It can have the biggest jackpot available, which will have a triple synthesized and or corrupted, like triple implicit corrupted ring, which can be something insane. You should always be opening the jewelry boxes. You can get something really cool out of it. If you get +1 to like frenzy charges or +1 to certain charges, you've won the league. Especially if it's synthesized. The armor and the weapons ones suck, which sucks because the armor jackpot is a 6-link, but it's just not worth losing the bar. It's not worth losing. The fossils one is really not great. You don't get enough fossils for it to matter based on how much bar you lose out on. Ultimatum kind of sucks. Like, you really don't get enough catalysts for it to pay off, and generally speaking, you don't really get to choose which catalyst you get, so it's a complete crapshoot. Delirium is kind of nice because you get simulacrum splinters, you get cluster jewels, you get delirium orbs. I would say in SSF it's super useful because you can get a lot of splinters very fast, and you get maps with delirium on them automatically, which is super nice too. That being said, again, it's tough. Results may vary. Abyss is really nice if you're gonna have Stygian Vise Belt. If you open an Abyss in an eye level 83 zone, so if you target farm Trap Disarmament, and in eye level 83 Trap Disarmament contracts and blueprints, because you can search for blueprints that have Trap Disarmament, you can then get Abyss boxes, which then you can get eye level 83 Stygian Vice belts, and eye level 83 Abyss jewels, which sometimes are useful too. The Legion one kind of sucks. Again, the splinters, you don't really get enough of them. The incubators usually are kind of garbage, and Legion Scarabs, okay. The Blight one is decent. I've gotten a silver oil before, but I think the gold oil is the like jackpot for the Blight one. And yeah, you get blighted maps fairly often, and a lot of people love them, so you can kind of sell them, and it's nice. The Essence one is kind of the most disheartening. You can only get up to tier 4 essences with this. What does that mean? It means that if I go to the stash, let's see if I can find some essences here. Is there a search bar on here? No, I guess not, huh? Yeah, I don't really play standard. But anyway, so generally speaking, the essences, this isn't ABC order either. Did I just see it? Yeah, okay. So you can only get up to Screaming. You can't get Shrieking, and you can't get Deafening. You can only get Screaming. So like, it's super frustrating that you're gonna get all of these like essences like this, and then if I were to upgrade these, like even Greed, if I upgrade this, it's 3 for 1. So I get 5 of them, and then I upgrade this, and I get 1 of them. So for the amount of time it took to farm 16 Screaming Essences of Greed, which I assure you was likely a lot of time, it is absolutely not worth opening all those boxes for that. You're just better off buying them from somebody and then opening other boxes. I have Deafening Essences of Wrath because I bought these, but I accumulated 12 Screaming Essence of Wraths. So it's really silly. I don't know why they did that. I guess they wanted to make sure that essences weren't overpowered in Heist, but like, yeah, it's just not even worth opening the box because you just don't get anything that's relevant or useful in comparison. Talismans are bad. They haven't upgraded them. They do come with anointments. The chances of you getting a talisman that's good with a good anointment that has a good implicit is like you have a better chance of meeting Jesus Christ. And that's okay. You know, if you really want to waste your stuff on that, feel free. I'm not going to stop you. But there's no... You know what? Let me know in the comments with a link if you managed to do it. I'll make a special video clapping and congratulating you. Finally, random, which is items that could drop from any type of reward chest. That's not entirely accurate. Random is typically only essences, jewelry, gems, maps, divination cards, and usually always currency. So random is like currency version 2, and you should always open a random chest. It's a no-brainer. So how do we target farm with this, right? How do we target farm? So I will show you something really cool. So the way we do, so I just wanted to show you why this is so useful and some of the tricks of the trade here. So if I go here and I search for blueprint, and I'm doing a custom search for blueprint, okay? I'm not typing in anything else. And then I'm going down here and I'm looking at this and what the required level for lockpicking, perception, counter-taumaturgy. So then I go back to here and I go, okay, I want currency in my blueprint. So I need lockpicking, counter-taumaturgy, or trap disarmament. So let's say lockpicking. So let's do 1 here, okay? So minimum of 1. I also want divination cards. So we're going to do deception, okay? Deception or perception. So let's do deception. And then finally, I scroll down here and I'm like, I really want jewelry. Okay, so I want lockpicking as well. I'm sorry. We already have lockpicking. So perception. Okay. Cool. So we have 3. And I really try to narrow it down to 3. You can give even more. You can get even more nitty gritty. Like, all right, I also want random. So I want to do, I don't want to wait for demolition. So I want to do engineering as well. So let's do engineering. Okay, so those 4. So then, obviously, we're in standard right now. But if we were anywhere else, and then we search for this, we find blueprints that have that. And this list is going to be a lot bigger. In standard, it's not as big. But if we were to run this blueprint prohibited library, it's going to have random chests in it. It's going to have divination cards in it. It's going to have currency in it. It's going to have everything that we want. And it's going to pay off really well. So this is worth the 20 chaos for it to be fully revealed. Even if there was only 1 wing revealed, we would still run this. Because when we're revealing things, which is a whole nother matter entirely, when we're revealing things, we are not... Ignore my chaos. When we're revealing things, we're not revealing an entire blueprint. You know, so like 255. So like we're not doing this reveal entire wing. There's no reason to do that. You just want to take your chances by revealing a regular wing. So, like, if I wanted to run this one, for example, which is an eye level 83, we would do 1, 2, 3. We would reveal all 3. We would take it out. We would make sure it's white. And the reason why we want to make sure it's white is because ultimately at the end of the day, the modifiers on a blueprint do not affect the chests in any way, shape, or capacity. We would then go down here. We would go to the planning table. We would assign all of our people. Honestly, you can assign them however you want. But you can kind of take a look at this and have like different three-person setups, confirm the plans, and then go. And then you can run it. Open all the chests that you want to, do everything the best you can, and then kind of go from there. It's kind of a no-brainer. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why people don't like heists as much. There's very little setup. I honestly think that making all the heist people top tier and top level, it wasn't necessary. You could run low level blueprints and get them to level 5 fairly fast. It did take some time, maybe an hour or two to set up, but I kind of relate that hour or two time to an hour or two of time on the Atlas. You know, like the setup time for the Atlas is the same setup time that you would use to typically set up your heist, but the difference is that heist pays out more currency, just overall, and it's easier to level, and gives you more experience because the monsters are eye level 83 and a higher density, and gives you more currency overall to start with, and now they're all leveled up. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to convince you guys otherwise. Don't do it. I'm gonna be buying all the blueprints. I'm gonna be buying and doing this. If you wanna hang out on stream, twitch.tv/thetedster, TheTedster. Most people just call me Ted. If you have any questions about Heist, feel free to pop in. But no, I don't know. I don't know what else to say at this point. Yeah. And the other thing I almost forgot. I almost forgot about this. Very, very, very important. Very importante. So, Heist. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that there is like, typically every blueprint you get anywhere from 6 to 8 chaos orbs. Every blueprint. So if you're buying blueprints at 6 to 8 C, like if I go here, this is just blue. Let's say I'm just ignoring all my heist filters entirely and I just want blueprints, right? These blueprints are 1C. Run them raw. Run them with 1 wing revealed. You gain 6 or 7C each. Scroll down. 5C, 7C. It's fine. I would still buy it to try to see if I hit anything cool. Like, blueprints are so cheap at the beginning of the league that it's just such a no-brainer to do that, you know? So, that's all I got. I know this was less cohesive than I really wanted it to be, but I just got done being sick. I think Jungaron gave me whatever he had, and somehow, I guess, I don't know. But I hope this was useful. I hope this was understanding as far as like what you should consider doing if you want to level up a character, if you want to get them to 99. It's super fast and easy to do it this way. The monsters and the enemies are fairly useful as far as experience-wise and things like that. Maybe after the league is over, I'll make a more concise and more cohesive video, but I hope this was useful to start with, and yeah, go from there. What? Did I sell a mirror for 69C? Probably. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But anyway. Alright, I'll see you guys. Have fun. That's all I got. Enjoy. Keep making your memes be dreams. And consider doing Heist. It's cool and fun, enjoyable. Or fish. Just do a fish. Just fish. Go on the beach and fish.